And welcome once again, dear friends, to another edition of Fresh Bread. This is Reverend Phil Anderson, pastor of Oakland United Methodist Church and Kansas Avenue United Methodist Church here in the capital city of Topeka, Kansas. So very glad to have you join me today here for our weekend edition of Fresh Bread. It is Saturday, March the 27th, 2021. We are nearing the end of March. We're in the middle of Lent here. Actually, we're getting ready for Palm Sunday tomorrow as we prepare for Holy Week. And again, I do pray that God's blessings will be with you this week as we continue into our Lenten journey. We're going to wrap up our discussion today about choices, and I just want to say this, that I hope these have been encouraging to you, just to remind you that we are responsible for the choices we make. We're responsible for the decisions we make. There's one decision I want to talk about today that really kind of, I think, sums it all up, and that is this whole idea of love, and how that is more than a feeling, as the old song said. It's a choice. It's a choice. We make a choice to love. There are times where we are with people we know, whether they're in our family or they're friends or co-workers or neighbors. And honestly, they can just really rub us the wrong way. They just seem to know how to push our buttons. Tendency at that point is we have a choice to make. We either choose to resist them and to be angry with them and to pull back, or we choose to love them. I've had a lot of different people through the years that I've known, and I've seen some of them that are totally different with some people as they are with others. Some people that they see, they may not even acknowledge, they may not even speak to certain people. They may not speak to me. I could walk right by them and say hello to them, and they literally won't say a word back. Just a real straight face, no expression. Then another person comes in that they've known and really liked, and they just light up and they smile, and it's just a whole different radiant, beaming expression on their face. What is it? They've chosen to love one person, but not to love another, or at least that's the indication that they would present. Not sure why it works that way. I pray that that's not something that I do. If it is, I really pray the Lord would reveal that to me so I could correct it. But today we realize that love is a choice. And we have to make that conscious decision to love others, whether it's our family member, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's our children, it's our relatives, it's our brothers and sisters, our parents, our co-workers, our neighbors. Maybe it's just people that we run into on the street that we don't even know. What if we met every situation, every person with love? And we, again, let go of the fear that sometimes grips us, that keeps the walls up between us and others. We take down our defenses that we work so hard to create, these walls that we have built around ourselves to protect ourselves. For many people, they've been hurt in the past, and they've put these walls up, and it's very understandable why. But it makes it really hard to love somebody else when there's a wall between you and them. You may be listening to this again, you're 8 years old, or you may be 88 years old, or somewhere in the middle. It's never too late to change, never too late to start loving. If you are a person who's given to criticism of others, which I believe I had done for many, many, many years, and I pray that that's not the case anymore. It doesn't mean I don't have my thoughts on certain things. I think we're all entitled to that. But in the midst of our thoughts, are we critical? Are we angry? Are we unkind? Because if we are, I wonder where the love is in that situation. Or can we have our thoughts and our opinions and our viewpoints and still be loving? I remember going to a funeral service years ago for my aunt up in Kansas City. Naomi was her name. What a wonderful person, just full of love. And The pastor really knew her well. I don't think I've ever been to a sermon at a funeral service where that person captivated or captured the real personality of that person who was being honored at the service, the person who had passed away, like that pastor did that day. It was phenomenal. And obviously he had spent a lot of time with my aunt. This was actually my father's aunt, but we're family, right? So we consider her my aunt, and just would love to go up and visit her when I would go up to Kansas City, up in the Shawnee area of Kansas City area. And here's what he said about her. I'll never forget. He was just summing up her life. And one of the things he said was, she had her opinions, but she was never judgmental. Now, that may not have been his exact words, but that was pretty close. She had her opinions on things, but she was never judgmental. And I know people at Kansas Avenue and at Oakland, I feel like that's very true of them as well. It's a great thing to have your opinions and to hold on to it, but to know the line, not to cross into that judgmental area. See, we don't know what another person has been through. We don't know where that other person has come from in their life experience. So I can have my own viewpoints on things, my thoughts. But overriding all that needs to be love. And that's a choice. And I have to kind of almost program myself to loving other people sometimes, because it's not something that's always going to come naturally. It's not going to be something that's just an automatic thing that we do. When we love somebody, it's the result of a choice. Now, sometimes we are just naturally drawn to people. Hopefully you're drawn to your spouse. If you're married, your children, you have that familial tie to your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father, your aunts and your uncles, your grandparents, all these people. Hopefully you really have that bond that's just built in, that nothing is going to shake that. I know there are family situations, though, that there have been a lot of issues. Maybe there have been some abuses that have taken place. And I pray that in those cases, the word forgiveness comes to mind, that we could just learn to forgive. But the wounds are there. So what do we do with them? We have a choice to make. We forgive, we love. We may have to still keep a distance from certain things, certain people, certain situations. Nothing wrong with that. But we're called to love. We are called to do what Christ did for us, and that is to love unconditionally. It's not always easy, because we can sit there and remember all these things that people have done, and we can hold them up. And I'm sure people can do that about me. And like I said before, you know what? Everything they say is probably true. And that's their choice to either love me or not. I can't make somebody love me, but I can respond and love other people regardless of how they treat me. And I pray that's how we will do it. Not to be defensive, not to be showing them, well, I'll show you, and I'm going to hold on to my rights, and I'm going to be defensive, and I'm going to protect myself. And I'll love those who love me, but I won't love those who don't love me. What did Jesus say? Even the tax collectors do that. If you just love the people that are kind to you. No, we're called to love all people. That's the radical nature of being a Christian. It's countercultural. It goes against the flow of our society. Our society is be with everybody that's just like you, and anybody that's not like you, whether it's through the political realm or social realm or the religious realm or the economic realm, whatever it is, just consider them your enemies. And Jesus said, love your enemies. In other words, love everybody. Don't take things personally as much as possible. Doesn't mean you have to sit there and be a mat for people to wipe their feet on. But it means love people, forgive them, and then God will give you the directions on how to go ahead and live your life in that spirit of love. Well, friends, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you in church tomorrow. We appreciate you being with us this week as we talked about decisions. Now may God richly bless you. It's my prayer. Have a great day.